Now this is an experiment that I bet you're going to find to be pretty cool. And it all has to do with pulling that silver out of this solution. This is the spent electrolyte I used to grow my pure silver crystal that you might have seen in my previous TikTok. Well, it is highly saturated in silver, and I need it back. Isn't that cool looking? When I introduced that copper pipe into this silver nitrate solution, the copper atoms from the pipe were immediately attracted to the silver ions that were just floating around there. And as the copper ions come into contact with the silver ions, the copper ions lose electrons, which the silver ions then gain. And this causes the silver ions to lose their charge and become normal little silver atoms, a neutral atom, free of a charge. And those freed silver atoms are what we're seeing being deposited onto and beautifully draping off of our copper pipe here. We're essentially electroplating. In this case, the copper pipe is acting as the cathode, which is the electrode where reduction takes place, hence the precipitated silver. Isn't that cool though, how it's just sheet after sheet and gravity's just pulling it down and draping it off. There's so many cool scenes where I just wanted to slow it down, put it in slow motion. It's like, oh, you got to see this, but it's just too much. It's just too much, so we'll just take it in like this. It just sloughs it off, and then immediately that reaction begins again. And I love it. I love how it just goes and goes and goes. And now when it's really going fast like that, every 10 seconds is an hour of time. So this is really sped up, and then I totally slow it down to do this real quick. But when it's going fast, it is a lot of time here. This is a long reaction. Now, as these ions exchange, the copper is going into solution. So I'm going from silver nitrate to copper nitrate. And if I go too long, more and more copper gets deposited into that silver. So I'm actually stopping the reaction before it's over with. You see kind of that cloudy stuff at the top? I'm afraid some of that is mixed with copper and stuff. It's like the first layer against the copper where it's oxiding. I think it's oxides. And well, anyway, I know there's a little bit of copper in there, so what I want to do is I stop the reaction early, and now here I'm stirring it up, so all these little particles of solid copper that are floating around in there are exposed to that silver nitrate. And they're actually going to then go into solution, and I have a cleaner product at the bottom here. As all that sediment comes down and gathers at the bottom, I stirred it up a few times and let it sit overnight. And that really exposed all that copper and hopefully got the vast majority of it out of there. Now, I just siphoned off that solution. It made it a lot easier than trying to pick that heavy thing up and trying to dump it all out. So now I'm taking it over to the Buckner funnel, and we're going to wash this precipitated silver out. I went through quite a series of rinses here. Look how it breaks up. It gets real clumpy. It's so much heavier than it looks. It looks like this fluffy, light stuff, maybe sand even, but it's metal. It's pretty dense. It's not like gold, but it's still pretty dense. All right, so now I got my little pancake of material here, and I'm gonna knock this off into a, look at that, hey? I'm gonna knock this off into a dish. Yeah, here we go. And we'll remove that filter paper, and I will save that. It goes in a bin, and I process that later. And here we go. I'm gonna throw this on some heat, and I'm gonna nice low heat. I don't want to go too fast or anything like that, but throw it in, and I get out all that moisture. Once the moisture's gone, now I can throw this stuff into a melt dish. And it took a couple hours. Don't let that fool you. But here we go. All right, I'm gonna dump all of this precipitated silver, which is right around 99% silver. It would be my safe bet. Here we got our torch. We're going to melt this silver down and turn it into metallic silver, something that you'd actually recognize as silver. And Here we go. Of course, I'm speeding this up too. It takes a little while to heat up that dish and to get all that material liquefied here. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. We're going to pour that into some cold water here. Usually I have ice, but this water was sitting outside and it is chilled. Okay, I'm going to pour this into another vessel and dry it off. Pop it in here and let's get a quick weight on this material. Bright and shiny, beautiful. Still has to finish going through the electrolytic silver cell, but it looks like some good stuff. 183 grams. Not bad. Definitely worth getting after. All right. Hit that like button. Be sure to follow. I'm Jeff. I'll see you next time.